Good morning, good morning. Let me get the link up in the room. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Trading Syndicate. I'm JJ. And happy month end. Here we are. Hey, what's up, Kev? How you doing? Well, okay, I suppose we should get down to work, huh? We've had nice moves in inventory. I gotta admit, I'm a little short biased, and I'll explain why. Hey, Miko. Taylor. Welcome, Taylor. Howdy. Welcome to the room. Hey, Ed. Hex. Ronan Raj, how you doing, brother? It's almost Friday. And on YouTube joining us, hey Zed, what's going on? Zeth, what's up? Man, it's been my kind of full week of Marcus, how you doing? It's the first couple of days I've been back in the land of the living after this weird flu that I had. So, I'm not seeing the ghosts of Liverpool anymore, which is that's always nice. Hey, I am listening. How you doing? Good to see you. So we've had overnight inventory was short. So because once again, yesterday, you got to watch out for that end of the day dip. You get that end of the day dip, and then the market rips back up, and it catches people short. So what happens at nighttime is the market opens, and that buying, that forceful buying that you had to close us up at 1716, that buying's not there at 6 o'clock at night in New York. So the market just kind of lazily drifts down. And what that it does is it allows the people who got caught short in this move up at the end of the day, it allows them to cover. Cover under the darkness of night, right? And then we take that inventory and we go and sell it here along with this inventory. That's the beautiful thing about these market profile charts, right? They can be terribly annoying to learn, but if you simplify them, right, what they do is they tell you where the inventory is acquired and how the disposition or distribution of that inventory is going. See, it's a sales chart. Ooh, we got a couple of red candles here. Here we go, Doc. Coming back on 13. Coming in guns hot. We finally cracked that 1716, but there seem to be bids there. So anyway, we put it on sale. People come in and buy it. We take it and run it right back up. Right? The job of the market is to distribute inventory. Don't get it twisted. There's nothing else going on here. Right? You buy inventory, you sell inventory. And when they put it on sale, that's when you go short. Right? That's what we want. So we are coming back down to VWAP. Now we've been distributing over VWAP tonight since since 2:20 my time, which is minus 5 hours, whatever that is in New York, right? So the whole night we've been over VWAP. Inventory is long. You can see it. You see this big chunk? That's the inventory that is long over VWAP, right? We've got all of this inventory. Even if you take out this move, right? If you go and take out this move, and just go down and look and see. You can see all that trapped. These people are all trapped. Now, people will always ask me, JJ, what do you mean by trapped? Well, okay, let's close your eyes and pretend that you're long 50 contracts at 70.21 and it's trading at 16. My friend, you are trapped. If you're long 10 contracts at 24 and the market's trading at 18, you are trapped. So you either sold or you're thinking about selling. Right? So and after a distribution, what happens is a market puts itself on sale. Just like the blue light special at Kmart, right? Attention Kmart shoppers, for the next 20 minutes and 20 minutes only, right? WD-40 is on sale, 2 for 1. Get them while they're hot. So when you lower prices, yeah, exactly. And, and Doc is seeing that inventory and it's like a big lever, right? So if that breaks, if we break VWAP, everyone who's long above VWAP is not going to be happy. And trapped is a nice way of saying, as they say in Canada, you're hosed. Right? The Canadian word of saying you're screwed is you've been hosed. Right? We sold you something, we sold you some fake gold at 24, and you'll be lucky if you can get 8 for it. Right? Now, we're still inside yesterday's range. Yeah, it's a lot of inventory, right? It's hours, right? Gold is going crazy again? Good for gold. I'm so happy. I hope all, I grew up with hard rock miners in the industry. All my buddies, they had mining deals, and, I did a gold mining deal. And all those old guys, man, in the late 80s, early 90s, gold's going to $5, 5,000, and everyone would laugh at them, right? Right? Everyone would just laugh at them. $5,000 gold, right? Now look at gold futures. I'm going to need a bigger boat. Right, Deuce? Yeah, so now we are in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we are in 16 times profit on this gold. Right? So I hope all my buddies who went through hard times in these markets in Vancouver and Toronto, I hope they're making money hand over fist, just railing gold stocks. Does anybody watch the gold junior mining companies? I haven't looked in 20 years. Anybody watch that stuff? Yes, no? Maybe? There's something cool about doing a natural resource deal like oil or gold and you're drilling. There's that excitement. It's almost as good as doing a treasure hunter deal, right? I love treasure hunter deals. Intrigue, pirates. Oh my goodness, just amazing, right? You find an old Spanish galleon at the bottom of some ocean. You grab a shell company and then you reverse merge, right, the shipwreck into a Las Vegas corporation, a Nevada Corp, and then you take that public. And man, it's a good time. Yeah, just like the Goonies. Oh, I love a treasure hunter deal. I have not done a treasure hunter deal in 20 years, man. They're fun. They're fun. You know, bring out your dead and sell some stock. I'll have to look. I mean, there should be some 30, 50-cent gold companies that are trading 50, $100 million worth of paper every day, like clockwork. Anyway, I'll clean up the gold chart. How are the silver bugs? Where are they? Yeah, look at that. Big short squeeze at the butt dead, ladies and gentlemen, in the metals. I'll put some of those levels out on Twitter. And ES. ES is a little constipated here. We're a little constipated at 17. Right? Time and volume now. Overnight inventory is long. Right? So it needs a correction. Hey, gold to 10K. Beautiful. Let's go do a mining deal. Let's go do a treasure hunter and a mining deal. Somebody find a sunken boat somewhere, and we can spin a tail. Keep the stock between 10 and 30 cents. We could sell hundreds of millions of shares. And gold, all you need is a piece of moose pasture. Right? And then we drop a drill. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Eh? Nice works, Hex. You know what? Your swing long that silver trade, you are looking at a target. We're in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times cost basis on silver puts you at $140. Yes. Old Nelson Bunker Hunt would be proud if he were still with us on silver. Nice, man. All right, let's see if we can break this. I left the volume profile in there so you could get a sense, for people who don't trade market profile, you could just run a volume profile next to your candle wax chart and you could see the position. Now, let's see, where are we here? Now, for me, I know a lot of people want to short it here, right? If you are short, okay, going into the open, okay, your warning level is here, depending on your risk, how big your account is, okay? So if you're short under 18, your stop is at 19, okay? You're looking for bids at VWAP, okay? So say you're short 10 contracts here at 17 and a quarter, and you'll start cutting size at 18.20, right? You need a little bit of a bigger account. So you're short 10, I would have put a bid in here at 15. Say you're short 17 and a half, put in a bid at 15, 14, and just stagger my bids. So if it breaks VWAP, you get a fill, because there should be responsive buying here, right? This time they didn't take it. Here they hit it. There's the response right there. So you want to cover on the way down. Now, if you still have contracts left, that's the area of interest, so you'd want to bid before that level. You always want to front run where the prospective buyers are, and you always want to front run where the prospective sellers are. You need to step out in front of those people and price compete so you can get rid of your inventory, or you can cover and get what you need if you're short. Because the last thing you want to do is be short and have it go against you, right? Because you weren't quick enough. That's why I like trading fast, so it hones your skill. You can trade, make a little money. See how there's some responsive buying right at VWAP, right? That's not a mystery. That is normal business operations. If we had sliced through VWAP like a hot knife through butter, then you know that there is a size order, because that order book only has 40 to 30 aside, right? They'll part like the Red Sea. If you go and show VWAP some size, it'll move. No one's showing size. right? She's 25, 27, 13. There's nothing on the offer, right? And that's what we can see, right? Oh, I'll send you that silver chart. Are you trading SLV or the futures, Hex? Well, either way. Oh, that's GC. So I'm not sure if that's going to hold, which is my roundabout way of saying that, right? I'm short biased. I'm thinking these people, they're not happy. See how it's breaking? So if you start selling that bid, right? If you're short underneath VWAP, right? The next candle is going to tell you, right? And your risk is here, right? If you're shorting and the market gets up to 15, that's like warning, warning, right? Because it takes out the 15, 15 and a halves, it'll run to 16, 17. And that's why I'm telling people if they're short, cover at VWAP and pay yourself. There's nothing wrong with being short 20 to 13, 20 to 15. There's 5, 6, 7 points there. There's a lot of meat on the bone. Get what I'm saying? I mean, if you do a 6-point trade, right, that's $300 on one contract. You do that on 8 contracts, and you're cooking with gas. Right? You don't have to look for a 30-point move. You can put on a little size once you've identified a seller. Right? So here's where everyone's covering. You don't want to be shorting here. Right? As we move up over 15, let's see if there's a seller at 16 and a half. Hey, Badir, how you doing? ASML? I'm not in ASML. I'm just looking at it. I have a morbid fascination with it. No, I don't pay for stock. The only thing that I'm long as an investor is Bitcoin. And it's a small enough amount of money that if I lose it, no harm, no foul. And what I do is I buy it and I stick it away and I wait for it to crash and then I wait for it to stabilize and I buy a little and I stick it away. And if the 0 and 1 mafia rub their hands together and everything works, you know, then maybe I can go from a Molex to a Rolex. We'll see. Hey, Joey, what's shaking? So we're letting the large traders work this VWAP area out. Unfortunately, I don't see any aggressive selling just yet, but we have 10 minutes to the open. That's always nice, Ed, right? But where, right? So you can take that rule and combine my levels and use it and use VWAP as your exit. So when it gets to VWAP, think of VWAP as like a dirty bus station, right? When it's going back and forth here, let them clean up the bus for the next ride. You know what I mean? Right? It helps if you can visualize these things. Now let's see. Come on. There's got to be more trapped logs over 16, 17, 18 than this. But because it's month end and so many people are short from the DT Trump double shotgun pump, right, where he put out news, said psych, put out news, said psych. He trapped so many people short. That's why we've had 5 P profiles in a row, right? Going up to all-time highs yesterday. Right? That's why this market is so big. That's what people don't realize. The more people short a market, the higher it's going to go, especially if there's no supply, right? People don't understand that these markets are built off stocks where the supply of those stocks is hoarded by trillion-dollar institutions who've paid for them in cash and have no reason to sell them for 40 years. So, unless, Apple today comes out on its earnings call and says, you know what, we're not going to make electronics anymore. Uh, we're going to make cotton candy. Well, then there'll be a material change and people will dump the stock. Yeah. That's good, Doc. I mark the inventory. You know how I work. Inventory is long. Let's see if it cracks. Keep things simple. Right? Some people don't look at inventory. I do. I'm an inventory trader because I used to have an inventory. So when inventory is long, the normal thing is to look for a short. But you're seeing bids at VWAP right now, and we'll see whether those bids continue. If we accept underneath 70.12, right, then you can look for shorts. But you have to understand that there will be bids at these levels, right? I think I misunderstood what Doc was saying, right? So if you are short, these are your targets, short-term targets on the way down, okay? Sometimes on month end, you can have an opening auction where if they probe around here for the bid, they will start lifting offers just to see how high they can get people to pay. Because obviously you can see the bids are coming in, right? The bottom of the candles are getting higher and higher and higher, right? Well, not priming. I am listening. The candles are small, so it's a little slow. But it's right before the open. Watch the bottom of those candles. Watch VWAP, right? So if we open and we do one of these, be careful shorting underneath, right? You want the market to offer underneath VWAP in order to shake this out. Got it? Now the normal course is to correct inventory lower. That's normal business. But if the market doesn't do what it normally should do 60 to 70% of the time, then it's trying to tell you that there is a change in business. Got it? So we want you to be able to use practical information that has a basis in reality, right? And inventory is the best thing for that because that's what markets are about. They're about inventory, right? They're about the movement of inventory. So if inventory does not correct lower, it means that there is some pretty serious unfilled buy orders under 70.13. Does that make sense? Fred, I don't know if I anchored mine correctly. Let me go double check, man. Thank you. Mine's anchored at the 6 p.m. Eastern Open, or it should be. Which is 11 p.m. UK time. Where did I anchor it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's anchored there. Yep, mine's anchored correctly, sir. Maybe different trading systems give it at different levels, but I can see it's working because we're perched right above it. Yeah, you might want to check your settings. You're just a couple of points a little lower than us. Not a big deal. Good stuff, Doc. Alrighty. 3 minutes left. What do we have today? Apple earnings at the end of the day? Apple, you'll be looking for bids over or offers over 262. And there'll be sellers at 266.77 for any of you who are trading it. Alrighty. Well, I guess it's time to make the donuts. My thoughts on a possible shutdown? Dear God, I have no idea, Deuce. Yes, I will post those gold and silver charts. Thank you, sir, for reminding me. I don't know about this shutdown. It seems like it's like every 6 weeks they come up with this shutdown. it's like a never-ending story, right? I don't know. I'm sure people are getting tired of it. They're always, I don't know. It seems like they're always trying to hold regular people hostage with news. I'll just focus on the chart, Deuce. I don't. That's outside my ballpark, right? As I say, I'm not a macronutrient guy. I'll let the the folks who went to Wharton and Harvard and Stanford, I'll let them talk about that stuff. I hope there isn't one. I have no idea. I haven't read the news. I am listening. I read the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg, but I really just kind of look at the deals and then I look at what the investment banks are doing. It's kind of like the gossip column for me. Like, oh, this guy, he did really well. This fund did really well. This guy's left, Goldman to start his own fund. That kind of thing, right? You know, I like to see what they're doing. As in baseball, they say that's the show, right? That's the show, right? Those are the professionals, right? Those are the big leagues, right? If you're running the prop desk at Goldman, you know, you're doing 100 million a year, right? That's the show, right? So I always like, it's like somebody who used to play baseball, you know, they like to keep up with it. Boom! Look at that. What the hell happened? Is your data frozen? Can you guys hear me? Did I lose internet? What the hell? Look at that. That is the first time that has happened to me with Sierra chart. Wow, my whole thing just froze. Boom. Well. Oh, the pageantry of month end, eh? The pageantry of month end. You gotta love it. And that's what I was saying. You know, somebody was complaining about one of the brokerage firms, I think yesterday, Tradeovate, right? And I said, you know, but then Fed days, you know, that's why I kind of let the large traders work this out because their data is fine, right? The highway that we surf and travel is completely different than the highway that the large institutions trade on, right? They spend millions on technology, right? Millions on technology. No, back up over 13. Rats. Just be a little careful, folks. Yeah, that's to be expected, ladies and gentlemen. It's month end. You know, it's a pageant. We're not invited. It's okay. You don't have to trade the open, right? We're going to look for the bid now. We're going looking, going begging. Look at that. Do you see how it just moved up like that? Lordy. And they sold right into it. Okay, be careful, ladies and gentlemen. We got a seller. Right? If you're short under 13, put your bids in. See if you can get a fill. Right? Make sure that you do cover when this thing, there's going to be a seller somewhere at 12, 13. Right, remember, we're still in the first couple of minutes. You don't have to be trading. If the sellers stay, you're looking for 6.5, next level down, right? Go put some bids in. Make sure you get paid, right? Just use the stops. Use the stops. Okay? Pay yourself, pay yourself. The next candle that opens, right? If you're short under 10, please make sure you have your bids out. Because look at that. See? That sell order is done. It's lifting. When those sell orders start to lift, you got to watch the top of this candle. It's a bit of a more complex market. So you got to really watch the top of that candle. If you're short, that's fine. As long as it stays underneath that candle, right? We're going to go and try and take out the next short. I shorted 6 3/4, covered 5.5. Not the greatest trades. I'm just scalping, just to see if there's any order flow and whether I'm seeing this properly, right? If we get above 7,008, be careful on your shorts, okay? Be careful on your shorts. Right? You need that follow through selling. Short 7 3/4, covering 5 3/4. flat. Next candle. Make sure you have your bids in. Short 5 1/4, covered 7 3/4. Just on a couple. Right? We are looking for down here. Taking out the lower stops. Next area is 7,000 and a half. We are right at the cost basis of yesterday. So this is why I was short biased. Right? It took a little while, right? It screwed us up with that first freeze. Then the sellers woke up. Right? So a nice little move to the downside. If we take out 69.99, right? You will see lower prices. You're going to see some short covering here because we hit 99 1/4 to the tick. So the market may get up to 6.5, 7, right? So if you're long, right, on the fail to look below, put your orders out, sell, 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 right? Boom, nice and flat, right? I bought 1.5 and sold 4. Okay. Simple trading just based on common sense, right? Inventory is long, it corrected down, right? That's not rocket science, right? You short when you see a seller, and if the sellers keep moving lower, you can stay short. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand what I'm saying? Or is everybody busy trading? Cool. Yeah, they put the fear of God in everybody with that opening freeze, right? Some bids at 7.02. So if you are long, no, there's going to be a seller at 7 and 8. Okay? So if you're long too, put some sell orders out. Pay yourself. Pay yourself. It's month end, right? You deserve to get paid, right? Put in all this work. Make sure you get paid. Oh. Now let's see. Maybe we get some rotation between 7,002 and 7,010. Let's see. Notice how we came right back to cost basis? This is why I talk about inventory. The inventory is here. We sold the market right back to where the inventory was, and we stopped selling. See? Simple. Right? And the last 3 candles, the lows are getting higher, the bid's following the offer, right? Like an obedient dog. But there is a seller at 6 3/4. You guys have any questions? Yeah, the doc's writing good prescriptions today. That's funny, Kinja Trader. Yeah, time is more important than price, definitely, because it takes time to get inventory, it takes time to distribute it. Okay, let's go test that 69.99 1/4 and see if that does this hold water down here, right? It's always good to test the low a couple of times. Let's see what's lurking down here. Remember, folks, this market is a speculative market, which means it has large ranges and the price swings drastically between the bottom and the top of those ranges. Okay? Today is the last this is the day that they mark their prices to market. Tomorrow is market maker month end where the wholesalers mark their month end. So we tagged 99 and a quarter twice now. I'm looking for a break of it. I'd be surprised if it holds. See? Told you. Right? The first couple of times it comes to a level, and if it stops right at that level, I'm suspicious. Under 96, we target 92. There's a stop at 93 and a quarter. We might take a little bit of a bathroom break there. See, right there? The offer is lifting a little bit. See who's going to come in and buy. Yes, it is a job, George. Unfortunately, it is a job. Sometimes it's a great job, sometimes it's a horrible job, but it is a job. Right? You must pay yourself, and this is why retail traders have such a hard time, because they get into a cycle of losing and they mentally prepare themselves to just take losses, take losses, take losses. And so it's foreign to them to make $50 to $100 a day. In fact, when you tell people, try to make $50 a day and keep it, they laugh at you. Yet they're losing thousands of dollars every day, and they can't make $50 to $100 a day and do that for 30 to 60 days, right? They just laugh at you. But they never make any money. So, you know, it's a situation where you have to train yourself to earn money and to not squander the money you make, right? You're not some guy sitting in Vegas mainlining Jack Daniels. It's a job. Let's look for the overnight low in 69.83. If you're short, your ultimate target's going to be around 77.5. Right? 95 is done. Done like dinner, Doc. Good prescription. Right? This is a nice inventory correction. Right? As we go down into, this is the cost basis of 2 days ago down here. So you'll see if there's any bids here, right? 5 points is beautiful. I'll take 5 points every day, all day. Nice trading. Nice. Now, yeah, there's a seller at the overnight low. This is good. This is allowing those short sellers to come in, right, and cover because it's the last day of the month. So that's good, right? You don't want people offside too much, right? And remember, this market has been taken up on a massive short squeeze. So they don't really last. You got to show them some size and they'll crumble. Now they're showing them size, right? Long 80, sold 81 and 3/4. Not the greatest trade. Yeah, and again. And again. Just went long, 80, stopped 78, and just sold right into it. This is our 2 times discount zone, so that's why I was a buyer at the bottom, right? I'm a buyer at the bottom where the discount is the best. But I'm not going to hoard these contracts, right? I'm a buyer and I sell into that strength real quick, real quick. Boom, there's the previous day low. Now, do we do a look below and fail? Do we do a look below and go? I had a level at 69.73 and I think we hit 74 and a quarter, right? So we have an aggressive seller. That's good. That's good. That's healthy. Very healthy for our short sellers. We came and we took out that D low, right? There was a stop here, right? We took it out. Now let's see where the next order of business is. Right? And the next area that we'll be looking at is 69.70 because that's where the next short position is. Where is it? There it is, right there, where that stop is. Nice trading, Doc. Good prescription. Now let's see if we do a look below and fail of that low. You know, if we stay above 77, we'll rotate up to 80, 81, 82. I'm long 78 and a half, and I'm flat at 80 and a quarter. Right? Just quick in and out trades for me because I'm testing my brain. Right? That is the look below and fail. So I bought just when we came back up over 78, I bought and I sold into the strength. Right? If I had a few more contracts, would have held them till 84, 85. Right? There's that overnight low. There's going to be a seller. We're going to backfill now. Right? Look for the backfill. If we fail to backfill, that means we're bid. Right? Once we're bid, you'll see the market go up and the next seller will be here. Just under 69.90. So if we hold the overnight low, we will start rotating back up. You know, if you're long, sell them like you stole them. Sell them like you stole them, my friend. Right? There's our seller. Hello. See? But they see buyers, so they're going to raise price. If we stay over 90, look for 92. Right? You see, it's like a subway. You go from one subway stop to the next. Right? See? Simple. Right? So if I had bought more contracts here, I would have sold some here, here, and here. Right? It's rotation down, rotation back up. Right? Is the rotation of inventory. That's all we're doing every day. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Right? And that's what we'll teach you how to do if you come join us at the Trading Syndicate. I would invite you to check it out. Now we're going to backfill, right? Because there's sellers at 69.90. So we'll go test that overnight low again. Go test 69.83 and a quarter. Boom, there it is. And then all the way back down. Now we're looking for the bid, right? We're looking for the bid. Where are the buyers going to step in? Last time they stepped in here. Will they hold 77 and a half? Just relax. If you're short, put some bids down here, right? If we offer back up over 82, watch your whiskers. See, look below and fail of 81. So if you were short here and you didn't cover here, you just gave up that profit. And you knew there was going to be buying there because I told you there would be. Right? And you'll be wondering, how do I figure this out? From looking at candle charts. Now, if we take out 80, look for 77 and a half. Hello. This is the rotation of inventory, my friends. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. There's 77.5 to the tick. But it's not rocket science, right? So if you were short 88, 86, 84, put some buy orders in under 80. Pay yourself. It's month end. You know, the tops of the market, the candles mark the sellers. Exactly, non-unique user. That's an interesting name. Welcome to the stream. And the bottom of the candle is where they stop selling. Now you can just kind of chill out with the candle stuff, because all you need to know is the top of the candle is where they initiate, the top is where they stop, because they see buyers and they raise price. Now, how do I know this? Because I was the guy who did it, right? I was the top of the candle, and say I was selling and Doc was selling and Alexander was selling, I would have to undercut their prices to get rid of my inventory. That's why on these 1-minute candles, the high moves lower, because the sellers are putting it on sale. And that is what you want when you're shorting, right? You want the sellers to compete, put price on sale, and you sell alongside. So you swim next to the shark instead of into its mouth, right? And then you cover when they cover. When they're done selling, you cover. Trading is simple. Sure as hell isn't easy, but it's simple, right? If we take out 73, we're looking for that stop here at 71. There is a large short position here. That is why you're getting buying before this 71 level. This, my friends, is called front running. Support is created by unfilled buy orders. Now, would I buy that? Not right now. I'd wait until we climb back up over 80 before I entertained a long, because we still have sellers underneath 77. Make sense? Right? I'm not interested in a long. I would at least wait until we get over 80 because we've cleared the previous day low. Under the previous day low, you're going to have some margin selling, which will take us down to the promised land here. Right? And let's see if we can tickle 70. Let's see if we can tickle 69 3/4. See, there's that annoying bid. That's front running, right? This little green candle is a short coming in and buying a little bit more than the market has for sale. Look, see, boom, 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 boom. Right? I'm long 79, selling 81 3/4. That was quick. Jeez. Didn't last very long. Good thing I had my orders in. Right? If you take it again, right, make sure you put your sell orders out, my friends. Right? You want to sell into strength that is created by this move. Right? Long 80, selling 82. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming out. Right? Sell them if you got them. Sell them like you stole them. Right? Out. Now let's see, where's the next opportunity? I do live. I also have recordings, you know, and I also do one-on-one coaching. So whatever tickles your fancy, I will do. But I'm live twice a day. 7:30 in the morning UK time and 9 a.m. Eastern time, New York time. Yeah, I've got about 400 videos on YouTube, and then the room is just full of instructional videos, right? And yeah, I'm in the room all the time. So if you want to come in for a month. I promise you'll learn more in a month than you will 10 years anywhere else. And it'll be practical information you can use to actually make money. Right? There's no fancy double talk. There's no mumbo jumbo. This is where you take the trade. This is where you put your stop. This is why. So you actually have, you have a business reason that you're taking a trade, right? It's not just based on some probability. It's based on cold, hard business. And that's what we try and do. And our goal is to make profitable retail traders. A little bit of a rotation here, right? It's a little choppy. If we stay inside yesterday's low, do you see how we're do you see this area here? This is that end period, which is after the close. That's why I tell you guys to watch that, because you can see we're going back and forth in that area. That's where the shorts got trapped. That's why the point of control is here, because there is massive short covering here because it's month end and everybody has to pay their bill. You see? So, will that buying last? Right? Because remember, the buying is coming from short covering. These aren't people who are going position long. I don't use moving averages. Not because I have anything against them. I just haven't put in the work. I haven't put in the work, so that's why I don't use them. I only use stuff that I've spent insane amount of time watching. We have people in our room who do. There we go. See how I said that short covering is not, you can't build a foundation on short covering. You can be long for a short amount of time, but you have to understand that short covering, right? Once those shorts are done buying, the market's going to drop because they're the only buyer. That's why when countries want to ban short selling, I laugh because, right? Because they're the only ones who are buying sometimes, right? If not for short sellers, right, the markets would just crater. It'd be like, where's the bid? It's 200 points lower. Oh, okay. Remember, short sellers are future buyers. And we can't have markets without short sellers. Because when all the sellers start selling, there's nobody wants to buy. Oh, it'd be ugly. Right? I've seen that. I've seen that firsthand. Oh, it's not fun. So we're looking for 69.52, ladies and gentlemen, as the shorts finally, right? All that inventory over 69.80. This is why Doc was short. He was looking for shorts today. I've been shorting this thing on the way down on a scalp here and there, a couple of longs, you know. But overall, I'm short biased because once that cover is done, we are going to go lower, right? That's just the way it is, right? If you want to learn market structure, come spend some time with us. We'll be happy to teach you how this all works. And then more importantly, right, it's how to put it all together so you can actually make money from it, right? That's the most important thing, right? We want you to make money from it. We don't want you to be spinning your, you know, spinning your wheels. How can I tell it's short covering? Well, because nobody buys the bottom of a market, George, other than shorts. They're the first people to come in and buy. And I can say that because I've done this for 35 years. So if somebody who ran a business told you that something was happening, right, you would, that's why, right? There is a sequence that forms a low. First, it's the shorts that come covering. Smart money shorts come in and cover. If there's enough buy orders coming in, then wholesale longs will build a long position on top of that. Then retail, and then the dumb money shorts that short average up, they'll do this, right? There you go. Right. You know, when people ask me, how do I know it's short covering? It's because I've run short deals. I've done short squeezes. That's my specialty. So in order to have a specialty in trading, you have to know what you're doing, right? So I'm very familiar with the mechanics of the market and how order flow works because that was my job, right? So, yeah, smart money shorts are the first to come in and cover. Nice trading. Well done, Doc. And I love your little subtle flexing. Not bad, I think. That's adorable. Well done. Nice trading, brother. Well done. I think you're the only one who's making money using CFDs, and that's great to see. Oh, boy. Now we're coming into that cost basis. This is exactly where we launched off of. We have 2 days of inventory down here. Remember this? So under 69.63, we target 69.43. Doing a little look below and fail of 48 here, right? We're underneath yesterday's low. All of these people who are long here, they will puke out because it's the end of the month, right? So this is great, right? We're easing some of the steam from that market, right? Some of the people, there was a lot of pent up short positions, and this is really nice, right? Now, as we move up, we should see a seller at 59 and then up at 63 and a quarter. So if you are long, those are places where you should be looking to get paid. There's 59. Told you. How do you know when there's going to be a seller? Because they're going to be right there waiting. Do you guys see this? It's very simple. Where the sellers initiated, they're going to initiate again. Why? Because they're selling more than 3 contracts. Right? Folks in the room, do you understand what I'm talking about? Just checking. All right. So if you were long 52, 53, and you didn't sell at 58, 59, right? That's not my fault, right? Inventory's correcting, right? We are two. The people who trade initial balance, you got a big initial balance, right? 70.22 all the way down to 69.46, right? So the next cost basis, so this is 4 times, right? This is 4 times, or the 2 times, 4 times, and then we'd go 8 times, right? So let's see if we put a little position here together, right? You got to remember that all the people trapped above us, they don't all sell at the same time, right? So you can see that there's sellers at 51, 52. So if we broke 48 and got underneath that low and took out that point of control, that's where we would be looking for. But if you want to build a long position here, if you think this thing's got a shot and you're long 53, 53, 52, make sure that you put your sell orders, right? I'm long 53 and I'm selling the 55 quarters, right? Thank you, right? I got a few left. I got 6 left, right? And I'm just putting them out. I'm just selling off the offer at 57. My average is 53, 58, and I'm flat. Okay? Why did I take that trade? Because I saw these two candles had the exact same bottom, right? That's why I was long here. This was my risk, and I sold into the strength. I knew there was going to be a seller here, so I got out before that seller took my clients, right? Is that helpful for people? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see whether you guys are understanding what I'm talking about. Because that's where you that's how you take the trades. That's how you make money. Right? Once you find the bid, you work off of the bid. Right? If you know a market's bid 50, 51, that's where you're going long, right? And that's why you sell into strength, because there's still inventory above us. Right? So you can still make 5, 10 points on a couple of contracts. I mean, you can still, on 5 to 10 contracts, all you need is, 3 points, right? You know what, Torque? It's month end, so I'll take what I can, and I think I'll chill, because I've been trading pretty actively now, right? I don't want to overdo it, right? I've racked up about 14, 15 points just scalping here and there, right? In one of my clients' accounts. So let's just chill out, right? And I'm seeing bids. You see how we're finding bids here, right? The problem is, too, we're at the edge of 4 times cost basis. This is where the deep discount bin is. This is where, for the Nordstrom shoppers, this is Nordstrom rack, and all the cashmere sweaters are here, and you can see the people fighting over them, right? This is where the deepest discount is. I don't want to short here, because if enough people short here, we're going to get a nice big green candle, right? If we can get enough people to short under 55, we'll be able to push this thing up to 66. Because when the people who are short 52, 54, who started shorting at 50 and averaged up to 54, right, when they realize that there's nothing for sale under 55, they're all going to go buy back at the same time, and that's how you get that big green candle that screws everybody because they're shorting here. So that's why that look below and fail is such a beautiful trade, right? Had I not been flapping my gums and had I not taken it this time, right, this would have been a perfect trade setup. Long 50, stop under 48, sell into the 54s up here. Yes, A and B period has taken out the last 6 days of trading. And it's a good thing too, AO, because we had a lot of people offside going into month end. Right? You can think of this as an exercise in steam control. Right? We let some of the steam out of the market. Think of it like a pressure cooker. Right? This is healthy. It's a good liquidation. It's a big range because this market is thin. There's only 30 contracts on each side of the DOM. Right? So you come in with a 300 contract sell order, you're going to push price. Right? Yeah, that's good. And the people who are swing short, the people who, shorted up in the 7,000s, it's great that they're getting paid, right? It's always good to see people make money, right? And it's always good to see a market sell off after a prolonged 2-week short squeeze. This is very healthy, right? Think about colonic health, right? It's healthy. It's a healthy liquidation. Now torque 383, right? Now let's see. If we take out that 45, I think it could get spicy. Well, sometimes the market needs some prune juice, Sounds good, Christian. Tomorrow would be better, yeah. I'm still catching up. So if I owe people phone calls, I apologize. After 2 weeks of being just out of it with the flu, I'm just catching up now because I'm just starting to get my energy back. Woof. Now, 383. Now there's a seller. There's a seller under 46, right? 46, 47. As we creep up, watch. When the next candle opens in 19 seconds, right, if that seller is still there, right, you could probably short it down to 38, 36. Give it a couple of more seconds. Come on, go back up. Swine market. All right, let's see. Watch where the top of this candle forms. Give it some time. Where's the seller? They're in the bushes. They're out there. Wait for it. There. Give them a few more seconds. See how the seller... Oh, see? They're messing with me. Just watch that line. Right? If we offer up above that, we'll go to 48.5. If we come back down, so if you're shorting this, if you're shorting the whole, your risk is here. See? Now you know that trade's not going to work because there's a seller, right? If we hit 48.5 and then come back in, let's see. There. See how the seller stepped in? So you short, bid. Short, stop, bid. But you got to be quick. Right? That trade does not wait for you. Okay? That's torque how you short. And what you want to do is you want to review that trade, rewind it, over and over again. You wait for the seller to show themselves. They didn't here, they did here. The next candle put in that high. So you got to be Johnny on the spot, and that's why you got to practice putting your orders in, right? So you put your sell order in here, you put your stop here, and then you put your bids in here so you get covered. Because as soon as the short covering comes in, the candle reverses on you, especially at market lows where the cost basis is of the last 2 days from the 21st and 23rd. Make sense? Someone wants the ES below 69.30? Yes, it could be the wizard, AO. Could be the wizard of AS. ES. You think they wear capes? You know, when you guys talk about that, somebody wants something. I picture some guy in a cape, you know, in this old castle playing an organ, holding down the ES. It's a hoot. Good stuff, 383. How are the silver folks looking here? Oh, that's okay. A little bit of liquidation. Liquidation. That's good. That's good. They are moving down. But it's not a dumb question, I am listening. It's just that you lack perspective. Pretend that you have 500 contracts for sale. Okay? And you're selling them here, right? And then you move down here. And then you move down here. But when you move down here and you see a buyer, you're going to raise price, aren't you? Right? Don't you want to sell your contracts for as much as you can? They're waiting there because of size. See? There's that big green candle. That's that short carrying candle that I was telling you guys about. That's what you have to watch out for. Look, low, low, lower, high, higher lows, right? One word, my brother. Size. It's not a dumb question at all. How would you guys know what trading size is about? You've never traded size, right? There are rules of size, right? There are rules of size, that's why they're still there. They have a lot of product to sell. Well done, Doc. Sounds good, Christian. See? Now the seller has moved down from 52. Well done, Doc. Nicely done. Way to work that CFD account like a rented mule. Beautiful. See how the sellers are coming in? I am listening. See how that candle high and that candle high? We got a bit of a flash sale going on, right? See? And when they find buyers, they'll raise price. So you'll mark that high. See? We came right up to it. Boom. They hit it right back down. Right? But if they see buyers, why wouldn't you raise price? There you go. Exactly. Right? Come into my store. I'll give you a good deal. Oh, sorry, I can't sell it there anymore. You should have bought it 10 seconds ago. Right? Somebody bought all the inventory underneath 48. Right? Look at that big green candle. 43 all the way to 55 in 1 minute. That, my friends, are those shorts who shorted in here, followed and shorted in here. Now they're waiting for a cover. If we take out 68,959, look for 69.67. Repetition is all, we all need that. I am listening, not just you. That's why I do the same thing every day, as boring as you guys think it is, right? Where I'm not trading live and losing 300 grand in every session, right? And having meltdowns and breaking keyboards, right? Which people love that stuff, right? Make a little here, make a little there, take a break. Make a little here, make a little there, take a break, right? It's good to have you with us, right? You got to do what works for you, but it has to make business sense. You have to stay on top of this. Well, the way I make money is boring, Ed. It's very boring, right? When I trade for my clients, I, it's very boring, right? Like you go into those trading rooms and guys are screaming and yelling and blah 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 blah. I was, I used to do those Twitter spaces, and the people that be screaming out levels. It'd be like working at a trading room, right? But they're retail traders, so it was kind of adorable, right? But you know, I don't do all that high pressure stuff. Do I ever get sick of the charts? No, man. I love this business. I've been doing this 34 years. It's the only thing I'm good at. And if I'm not trading, I'm trying to do deals. If I'm not trying to do deals, now I'm looking at tokenization, you know, or I'll be doing investor relations. I've always been around the deal, always in the business. Your data froze again? Yeah, and we learn by repetition, right? So, folks, we seem to be putting a position together here, right? The point of control is down here. So we're building out a cost basis. So if we ran, where are my volume vultures, I call them, right? So we run a volume profile from the top to the bottom, right? You can see we're starting to absorb the upper inventory, right? And this inventory, we're starting to absorb it here. You're going to see this build out. Yeah, the markets have been pretty mechanical, Phil. Yeah, exactly, Raj. It's instant settlement. And you don't need a brokerage account to buy a tokenized stock. Pretty cool. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Please come join us at the Trading Syndicate. Please be safe trading. It is month end. Right, so you will see, as the market goes, you can see that inventory start building itself out. Right, and this is accumulation. So if you're a larger trader, right, as a market falls, right, and you're a position trader and you're position long at 4 times discount, see how the volume at 69.52 is building out? Right? You see that volume. That's your position. So if you're buying 50, 52, put some offers up at 58, 60. So when the market goes up there that you can get out of your inventory. Right? Larger traders, if you're building a position here, you'll be looking for 60, 67, 68, then 70, and you're going to have resistance here at 73, 74, right? And we'll try and take this and sell it up here, right? Otherwise, we will just rotate back and forth in this zone. So just watch that If there is a constant seller at 60, we'll rotate back down to 48. And you can trade this, right? You can trade these rotations. I should have come up with that a little earlier. I should have been thinking about it here. And then when we came back up, right? You know, you buy the 48s to 52s, you flip to the offer 56 to 57. Make a couple of points, have a coffee, right? Very simple. Okay? Thank you, everyone. Appreciate you guys. Come visit us at the Trading Syndicate. Those of you who are interested in inventory, you can clearly see here. See how the market, we came right back, right? Remember I showed these overnight sessions, right? This is the cost basis of the goods, of the inventory, right? This is the acquisition cost basis of the inventory. We sold it, we put it on sale right back down to the middle of where we bought this stuff, right? Very simple. Now, if we have larger selling, we'll take out 69.23, right? We'll come and take out 69.23, and you can use this cost basis, right, for larger trades. You could just move this down, and you can map out, just like we do on our candle wax charts, this will be your discount zones, right? So you just use the levels, and we'll come right back down to 68.44, right? So this is the cost basis, 2 times, right? 2 times profit. See how we did? We looked above 70.42 and failed. Target is 69.63, right? That is rotation on a bigger scale, right? That's why when Doc was saying he short biased, I was in 100% agreement, because we did a look above and fail and rotation is down. And inventory was long, right? So anyone who's long over 69.85, when we take that out, that's a piñata low. All of this candy is going to come falling out, and that's exactly what's going on, right? There is a business reason why these charts get created, right? Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful trading day. Stay out of trouble out there. And I'll put some charts up on X. And we will see you tomorrow morning bright and early. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Take care out there. And thank you for being with us. Come join us at the Trading Syndicate. I'm JJ. I'm vwaptrader1 on X. And we really appreciate you joining us. Bye for now.